come to your garden, I eat from your tree, I step in your river, and it takes me deep. Your heart is my temple, your tears rinse my feet. I walk out, I'm able to carry your peace. It reminds me of a song that I heard long ago. Maybe I've always known that you were right there. A simple melody playing over and over in my dreams. Somehow out of reach, eluding me until I release. You come close to me when I release, and I let you take the lead when I release. My heart starts to see when I release. When I release, you said, come to my garden, eat from my tree, step in my river, let it take you deep. Your heart is my temple, your tears rinse my feet. You walk out, you're able to carry my peace. It's an ancient sound heard from the ones who came before. Now it's here once more to pierce your soul.
What's up, everybody? We are live, cutting the song off because we are running a little late today. We've
My
been having
favorite song.
that issue lately, but shout out to everybody who's in the chat already. What's up, Ariana? Yo, Paul, Mom's in there. Charles Thompson, what's up? Lena. I thought I said Charles. You know I'm blind. What's up, everybody? Hey, make sure you guys share this video. Hit that like button. We are live. We're going early. If you look at the title of what this episode is, you know why you got to share this, because they are going to suppress the heck out of it. But let's get into it. You're watching Young Lion TV. Let's go.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they dying. Everywhere I look, they dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they dying. Everywhere I look, they dying. Young lion, won't you get up and stop fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding. Young lion.
Yeah, well, that's right. You're watching Young Lion TV. I know Lena. Lena's cracking up. I'm reading the names really fast, and it's small print, and I'm looking at my screen, and I just see Char Thompson, and I just read it real quick.
You've known us forever, Lena. Yeah. You know Jamie is blind. Like when he looks at you sometimes, he's like,
yeah,
he does that look like.
I can't. I'm trying to get focused. Shout out to Emma. What's up, bro? Everybody who is on here, make sure you guys share this video. Please share this. We're gonna be talking about this crazy stuff that's going on. We appreciate each and every one of you. Shout out to all the Young Lions who are here, all the people that are Patreon members. We love you guys. Remember, if you want to become a member, if you want to sign up and be a part of this kingdom, this Young Lion pride, you can go to patreon.com/YoungLionTV. And you can become a member on there. And we have different tiers that you can sign up for. And also we have our website, Jatan.com, where you can get merch and music. And you can, the merch that we have, we have two different merches here.
It's one of my favorite shirts right here with little Jakey.
Yeah, and this is the Young Lion merch right here with Ezekiel 19 on it. And you can get, this isn't available on the merch store on our website. So if you want to get this shirt here, you can just hit us up on Cash App, Young Lion TV on Cash App, and let us know. Or you can just throw a little donation to the cause if you want to. But yeah, if you want this merch, hit us up on Cash App. Let us know. It's $20 for these T-shirts. We have all different sizes right now, all the way up to like 4X, right? 3X. Yeah.
Damn, who's 4X?
Hey, I don't know, man. I don't know.
The other day, my son Jakey, he watches the different YouTube people.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You guys got merch?"
Yeah. They know all the terms. Yeah. But
my face is on it.
Yeah, we got merch with his face on it. Hey, mom. Mom said he's not blind. I'm not blind. Just have very, very poor vision. Had it ever since I was a baby. But yeah,
he has sight in the spirit.
That's right. I got vision. But we got Moan with me. We got Stan and Jake over there, and then we got two people on production today. It's a miracle. John, and Rachel both here.
Bizak. Guess who's Bizak?
Yeah.
George said he can't watch the podcast. He's in Mexico right now with his wife.
Oh,
vacay, he said, but he's sending hello to the squad.
Congrats, man.
Enjoy out there, man.
I'm loving.
Where are you at in Mexico, man? Shout it out real quick if you can.
From Yucatan Peninsula.
Yucatan. Okay, you out there with the Yucatan Peninsula. That's like where Cancun and all that is.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea, but they love this resort. They've been there like 3 times already.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's like Jay found the spot there too. That
Yeah.
Is that close? I wonder.
It's on the peninsula.
Okay.
All of that whole strip is the peninsula. You know what I mean?
Nice.
But yeah, shout out to George. We still waiting for George to become a Patreon member. But you got money from Mexico. I can't sign up for the Patreon. It's all good. Just saying.
I'm gonna tell him you said that too.
Just saying. But nah, we love you guys, man. Shout out to everybody who has been supporting us from day one. Again, we need y'all to share this because, the algorithm doesn't like what we talk about. It's a lot of stuff that's been going on, especially in this area. Before we get into all of that, shout out to y'all. How was the weekend? Everybody good? Everybody had a good weekend?
Yeah.
Nothing crazy going on since last week besides Rachel's world. We're going to get into that in a second.
How'd y'all like the show?
Oh, the show in Plainfield?
Yeah,
we had a show over the weekend. I forgot about that.
It was a beautiful day.
Beautiful day. We didn't have to go far. Hour, 15-minute drive. Stan came with us. It was fun to have the whole crew there. I will say, it was the typical unorganized production crew vibe that we're used to. Right. And, Jake had this message of attitude that he's been talking about for like the last week. And going into that show, it was definitely a moment to see that in action in real life. Because it's like you get there, you show up, no one's prepared, no one's ready. And if we wanted to have the wrong attitude about it, rightfully so, this entitled, this not our fault, then we could have. But then how would the show have gone, Right. But instead it was like, all right, what do we got to do? Okay, we got to help them finish setting the stage up. We got to finish loading in gear for them. You know what I mean? A job that we're not supposed to do. Yeah. Oh, we got to help them get everything patched and get everything set. Okay, fine, let's do it. Yep. Otherwise, we're not getting the sound check.
Yep.
So,
and the show probably would have been totally different.
Yeah. So it was all about the right attitude, which changed everyone's attitude. Yeah. You could tell all of the crew because they were all frustrated and annoyed when we got there. Yeah. They didn't even know that we were going to do a sound check. Yeah. So, it was good to see how that all worked out, and then it ended up being a good show.
Is Jordan on the chat there?
Jordan is not.
Not yet. Oh, no. I just remember that he took a picture of the schedule that they sent them. Yeah. The production crew, and then instead of sending them the right schedule. So
and it was a city event, and a lot of times, cities have these grandiose ideas of how they want to do this event because it looks good for this one or that one, or this is how we're going to spend this money. but they don't really know what that means as far as like
pulling it off.
Yeah.
The
So
behind the scenes stuff.
they don't hire the right people that are used to doing events like that. So then it just kind of like that. They'll have a lot of pieces in place. Like they had the lanyards, they had the backstage tents, and the RVs.
Yeah.
But no food.
Yeah. What's that remind you of?
What?
Memphis.
Looking
nice. Yeah, but don't know how to run a show.
Yep. What else? Anything else been going on? No. Okay. Well, there's been a lot going on in
the world,
and also in this area. So over the weekend, I believe it was on Saturday night. It was that night, right?
Yeah,
Saturday night,
I think.
Right over the bridge, about 5 minutes away from here, there was what they're calling a mass shooting right on South Street with tons of people out there. It was all over the news, all over Twitter, and it's just a crazy incident. And Rachel, you're right around there, so from your perspective, you want to kind of give a synopsis of what went down?
Yeah. It was pandemonium, man. Like I didn't exactly see. I wasn't out. I was barricaded inside my house as usual on the weekends. It's kind of like down in the city to me after a certain time. Like, go inside. It's just the best thing to do.
Especially when weather starts getting nice on the weekends on South Street. You already know the vibe.
Yeah.
It gets crazy.
And it's even like, even nice areas, even like the further you go into Center City, like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, once night falls, like, freaks come out at night, man. Like, anything can happen. Anybody can get hit over the head. There's crazy stories of like Uber drivers being pulled out of their cars and beaten to death at 9 p.m.
Yeah, I heard about that.
There's a lot of there's a lot going on. But I heard sirens. It was crazy. Dad always, like, in row homes in Philly, if you hear a bunch of sirens, you go outside to make sure the whole block ain't about to go up in flames.
Right.
That's pretty much what I did. Saw some kind of, craziness happening a couple blocks away and was like, well, nothing's on fire. Doesn't appear to be any buildings blowing up. I'm going back inside.
Now, did you see, like, mad people running away from the scene? Or?
Yeah, we're a couple blocks away from where the actual shooting occurred, like 2.
Yeah.
Which is enough that by the time people got to us, like, they're standing around and calling people and starting to give the rundown on, so when
they was shooting.
Exactly. When I was outside, folks was on the phone talking about 2-3 people got shot and it's crazy. But at the same time, like, when you look at the footage, it's kind of nuts because people will run, but then once they run for a block, they stop.
Yeah.
And they start hanging out and
they
looking
think they're
around
safe
again.
Yeah.
It's like, if a
and them shots were ringing, like they were going for a while.
For a minute. And there were multiple different occurrences, which the media isn't really, like, they don't have a great description of what happened.
Yeah.
And it's that there were multiple different shootings on multiple different blocks.
Right.
That were happening at different times throughout the evening. So the police are finding and getting called to different scenes and finding different kinds of guns and different kind of shell casings. And yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I have a video here, if you could pull this up, John, of like what led up to the whole event. This is on Andy No had a good breakdown of it on his Twitter page. So
this is on Third. This is South Street.
Yeah.
Right past 3rd.
Yep, that's the Rita's right there. That's where we used to sell our CDs right there by that Rita's.
Yep.
We stop over there and get a little water ice and be right back to selling our CDs. That's close to where we got arrested for selling our CDs. They arrest us for selling music, but
you can't catch the gun.
Right. And then as you watch, like you can watch as these two dudes approach this guy in the black shirt here, you see that one of them pulls a gun out as he's walking up, and then they start fighting.
And they're both, as far as I know, concealed carry permit holders.
Okay.
So they had legal
So they had legal weapons.
Yeah.
You got to put it back up. That was happening last week.
Yeah, why does that keep happening?
Yeah.
That was happening last week too. The screenshot kept coming down. Yeah, let's just go full screen on them. So you can see they're approaching. And you can tell they got beef. My man pulls out right there.
And I think the other guy actually already has his gun drawn.
Yeah. So I guess they figure no one's going to shoot. We're just going to fight. But then...
So now they're shooting. They both had guns drawn.
Yeah.
They're shooting at each other. And they hit a bunch of people.
They were shooting into the crowd at one point, and that's where, because I think like 14 people are injured at this point, or shot.
Apparently, it's hard to know what's what. But
Yeah.
the most recent news report is that after they were popping off at each other, then one of the guys who was associated with the guy that they started beating up on had like a makeshift ghost gun that was kind of pieced together and completely unlicensed, and he started shooting off into the crowd.
But you hear they're still shooting.
Yeah.
Like, they're running and shooting at this point.
And that wasn't clear. Like, who are you shooting at in the crowd? Like, what is happening?
And then, you had sent me some other videos, but about like a lot of stuff that was going on, just the energy and the vibe out there. Andy has those kind of listed out here too. This is some people that are tucked away in their home safely, just monitoring what's going on out. Like, it's crazy to me that like people live there and have to see this every weekend, just like
above all those businesses, that's all apartments.
And it's just the craziness that I've seen happen on South Street. It's like you live out there. You can see here there's people. Is this when they're jumping on someone's car?
The cops, the cop car.
Yeah,
they're like getting in front of the car.
Yeah.
So it's a bunch of young kids, teenagers, probably 20 people in their 20s.
Yeah.
And we're not strangers to this.
Yeah.
But it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's gotten worse.
These are other little skirmishes breaking out. Look at the little boy. See the little boy walking by? He's like, yeah, one day I'm going to be in on this.
Yo, it's way more people, it seems like,
than what you remember.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. Because I remember like Greek Weekend or like remember when they used to do the Mardi Gras thing? By Fat Tuesdays? But this remember they used to put fences up to block off the side streets.
Yeah, I know.
It would be a lot of people. Like people were getting crushed up against those fences.
Right. Yeah. But that's for events. This is just
a random Saturday night. Yeah, nice weather. That's true.
I mean, it has been, I don't know. I remember going there a few summers, like at night, just to get pizza, and it'd be crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see if that's. I think that's pretty much. But there was other videos that you sent.
That's the gist. Yeah. That's what was happening beforehand, and then afterwards, people started running and screaming for a minute. And then it's like, all right, let's stand around and, gather whatever content we can for the Twitters with our phones and whatnot.
Right.
And, of course, like...
TikTok at this point, sure.
Gather in the surrounding blocks and, sirens.
Still hang out.
Exactly.
Instead of going home.
Mainstream media ain't really talking about it, though. Right,
because they're framing it as a mass shooting.
Yeah,
like which is funny because I know for years they would stay away from incidents like these and categorize them as mass shootings. But now there's this massive push for gun control. Right. Yeah. So now they're grabbing all the stories in the hood of people doing shootouts.
And they just try to not talk about what it is. Right?
Yeah, right. Just say mass shooting. This many mass shootings.
I sent y'all. Yeah, they use the word mass shooting, but I sent y'all that video of the West Virginia woman.
Yeah.
The guy who, got mad because somebody said something about him driving fast in like an event or something like that. And he came back with the AK.
Yep.
But the woman
AR,
the woman, I don't remember what it was, but the woman concealing carry saw him come, had her gun and shot him.
Yeah,
because wasn't he shooting? In the crowd,
he started shooting, but she had a gun. But they're not going to talk about that though, because that's a gun that
saved lives. Yeah,
stopped the mass shooting that could have happened.
Right.
That's a safe. Way of.
Of course, they're not going to talk about that.
Defensive.
They have one narrative to push right now. Like it's getting towards election time. They're grasping like. Politicians are at the point now where they have to grab, especially Democrats right now, because they're set to get demolished in the midterms. So right now they're trying to grab onto anything they can as leverage. So right now they're looking at gun control as their only thing that they can really hold on to.
And that's what Sunday I was changing something on the car, and the neighbors ended up coming over to help me, and that's what we ended up talking about.
We got into it a little bit. Got stopped over.
They need to just ban them. They need to just it's not
ban them.
It's not that easy.
But then we were like, you ban them, but you ban them from the citizens, the law-abiding citizens that
criminals don't follow laws.
Yeah, they don't follow
so
the
it's
laws.
not going to affect them at all.
Yeah.
And he was saying about the mass shootings, like, just pay attention to the language that they use.
Yeah.
You're programmed. Once they say mass shooting, you're automatically programmed to think
somebody went in somewhere with a gun and shot up the place.
Shot up the place,
And that's 99% of the time that's not what it is.
It's not true. Yep.
Gang violence.
Yeah.
But because they can pull that string real quick.
Yeah.
And get you to focus on it.
That's just like that that video I sent y'all the other day with Ruslan, what the dude was breaking down like gun violence, how it's actually not as bad as it was generations ago. You know what I mean? Deaths from guns.
Right.
But the narrative they have to continue to push is this is a problem. We need to, banning an AR-15. Like the funny thing to me is like most people when they hear AR-15, they think it's an assault rifle. Yeah, it's an assault because they think
weapon of war because they're pushing.
They're pushing it. That's the language
of war.
I would say there's definitely more mass shootings, and I'm not going to use their definition. I mean mass shootings in terms of actually a guy going into a place where there's a lot of people and shooting.
Yeah, right. Like, absolutely.
There's definitely more.
But
mass shootings.
That was never a thing before. Like think about it. How many times did you see mass shootings before Columbine?
Right.
Especially like school shootings. So rarely ever.
Right. So it's not about the guns.
Yeah.
And that's what the issue.
That's the argument.
Like that's the problem. It's about
culture.
The culture. It's about what people. It's people. We got to find the root cause of these things.
Yeah.
And people want a quick fix, and that's what happens when you see life being lost, and like there was Rachel sent, I don't know if you have it, one of the clips with the woman. She's like, something needs to be done. Like,
I was just going to bring her up. Yeah. She was snapping.
She was snapping.
Snapping. Is that what you sent on the band thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
The older lady who, is like, that's the solution is, well, something needs to be done about this, and we all have to, basically come together to ban guns. And it's like, no, that's not the solution.
In what world does banning guns change any of this? That's the main thing I don't understand. Like,
I mean, it changes stuff, but not in the way we want it to change.
Yeah, right. All that does is so the same. But that's the funny thing is the same people that say, the police are racist and out of control and corrupt and defund the police, but you want to leave them as the only ones with guns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want to make it so that you disarm No, I'm talking about police.
Oh, police.
Like, and they want to disarm the public and let the ones that they think are tyrannical and fascist and racist and to have all the weaponry. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense.
And then we'll defund them, and that way we can bring the military.
The federal military. Yeah.
They don't care. They're bodyguards. They want to keep those guns for their bodyguards.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. They want private security at all times. Yeah, the thing with the Uvalde thing, like we were talking about it the other day about how, and last week on the podcast about how does a 18-year-old kid with no job, dropped out of high school, and someone broke down the videos. One of y'all sent that where a dude broke down like exactly what everything costs and how did he afford this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which was close to $10,000.
Yeah,
maybe over it.
Right.
Yeah.
Guns and ammo and
based off of the type of guns that he had.
Yeah.
And the truck he had was dumb expensive too, right?
Yeah.
What he was driving?
It was a new truck.
So it was just, it's weird. How does that happen? And then, the other things were the police that stood outside.
Right.
We talked about that last week. I have another video too of, let me see.
One of the mothers.
The mother, yeah. You see that when they finally interviewed her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
CBS. It was on CBS.
Yeah. I got it here. Oh, here it is.
Arrest you because you're being very uncooperative.
So this is the mother that we played a video where the police were actually tasing and detaining people that were trying to get in and save their own kids.
Mm-hmm. She said there were U.S. Marshals that was there. I didn't know at first. I thought it was just regular, Uvalde police. It was U.S. Marshals that tried to stop her. Yeah.
So this is the mother that they detained and then let her go, and then she broke through and went in and got her kids herself. Like, snuck in there and got her own kids out of that school. So she's kind of telling her story.
Because you're being very uncooperative. I said, well, you're going to have to arrest me because I'm going in there, and I'm telling you right now, I don't see none of y'all in there. Y'all are standing with snipers, and y'all are far away. If y'all don't go in there, I'm going in there. He immediately put me in cuffs.
She says after Uvalde police officers told marshals to uncuff Gomez, she ran towards the school.
As soon as they uncuffed me, I jumped that first gate fence. And once I jumped it, I went to my son's class. And I knocked on the door, and I remember the teacher saying, I'm like, hey, they're already boach cutting the fence to get me. She's like, you think we have time to get out? I said, y'all have time. I'm going to run for my other son.
Once she was assured her son was okay, Gomez ran to get her other child, encountering more officers who tried to stop her.
So I start yelling, and I'm being uncooperative, and I'm like, well, y'all aren't doing what are y'all doing? Y'all ain't doing y'all need to be in here. Give me your vest. Somebody give me a vest, something. I started paying attention to how far the shots were being, so that I knew the shooter was all the way still by my first son's class. So when I went to my second son's door, the teacher didn't want to open the door for me. So that's when they started escorting me out. And as I see that they're opening my son's door, I go run for my son and I get him.
With both of her kids out safe.
I didn't understand, like,
escorting her out.
Who was escorting her out?
Yeah, the police?
Maybe
yeah. So who was in there that wasn't engaging with the shooter but is in there to escort
maybe
her
the
out?
Police.
Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
So
something's not right.
It's not right. Yeah.
Something don't add up with this.
Clearly, you're in there. It's got to be police. Right?
Yeah,
you're in
and
there,
she's
and
going
you
up to
hear
them saying,
gunshots.
"What are y'all doing? Y'all ain't doing nothing. Why are you like?" And they're telling her to get out, and she just didn't listen and went and got her kids herself.
Yeah.
Like, how does a woman, a young woman like this, totally unarmed, have the bravery to do that? Like, when your kids are on the line, but the people that have taken the oath to protect and serve the community and are supposed to be the first line of defense against stuff like this are standing around.
Yeah.
And they're trained for that stuff.
Yeah. But then they want to totally, they want to totally disarm the public, you know what I mean, and come at the Second Amendment because they know that that's a hindrance to a lot of the agendas that they want to push. Yeah. Shout out to Paul. He said a majority of these shooters have a history of psychiatric drug use. Yeah, almost all of them.
Right.
Yeah. Almost all of them are on, SSRIs and psychiatric meds, things like that. We talked about how this shooter and the Buffalo shooter were both in these weird chat groups in Discord, talking to people who basically amp people up to do stuff like this.
Yeah.
You know,
Paul said they must have gotten the stand down order. They did.
Yeah.
They told him to stand down. But to me though, like if I don't know, it's hard. It's easy to say, but if I took that oath and I see. Because I have such a heart for kids, man. Like, I was watching the Matthew McConaughey. He's talking about, the press conference that he had. I started crying, dude. Like, just thinking about these kids. But if I took that oath, dude, and they told me to stand down and I'm hearing gunshots, I'm in that school.
Yeah.
Guess what I'm doing?
Well, that's why do you think, like, the guys that ended up going in there were Border Patrol agents? Like, they weren't police officers. But they also took an oath to protect the community. You know what I mean? So they were like, well, I'm going in, and they ran in there and took the shooter down themselves.
Yeah.
It's
sad, man.
And then the way they kept changing the story, changing the narrative,
and lying.
And then they stopped cooperating.
Yeah. Now they're not cooperating with the investigation. But then you see that video, that ominous video of Justin Trudeau coming out talking about how there's going to be no more sales of handguns in Canada. I guess they have a deadline on that. So pull up this article real quick, John.
Really?
I saw this all over Twitter. Breaking news in Canada that gun sales are through the roof ever since he. It had like the opposite effect. Everyone's buying guns now.
So
it's the same.
So it didn't go through when he tried to.
I think like it's usually like this is what he's proposing doing, but it has to probably go through the process of getting approved, and that's red tape. Right. So that's going to take a little while. So in the meantime, everyone's buying guns. One of the ironies of the modern gun control movement is that when the odds of them succeeding is pulling a ban in place to go up, so do the sales of guns they're trying to ban. And we saw that during the pandemic too, like
COVID,
like around here when all of these riots were going on, gun sales went through the roof
because they were defunding the police.
Exactly,
and people are like, "Well, it affects me. It doesn't affect the people out there."
Yeah.
First line.
So
first
again,
responders.
it's about responsibility, right? People have to be responsible. The kids who were shooting up in Philly on South Street. Obviously, they're not responsible.
Yeah.
Obviously, those guns are stolen.
Yeah.
Right? Which the majority of the guns that are on the street are.
Yeah.
Or they're black market guns. But the point is that where are these parents at?
Yeah.
You see, there were probably hundreds, if not a couple thousand kids out there that night.
But you look at the culture of chaos that starts to, and even Rachel said, like, when she was there, like, you can see the swell of chaos starting to build, and then it always like escalates into more and more and more, and then something like that happens.
Right.
It starts with people just doing dumb stuff, like jumping on cars or being too rowdy, or then little fights break out, and then it's like,
and it doesn't get real until people die that you love. Or people die that you love. And I say that because people, they don't even care if somebody dies that they don't know or care about. You know? But once it's somebody they care about, then it's rest in peace. I don't want to sound racist. But it's rest in peace, and because you care about these people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But nobody's looking at what it got. How to get there, how to get to that point. That's where the responsibility, who's going to take that responsibility? Who's going to start guiding some of these kids,
Yep. Hey, Tiffany said, hey, guys. Gina said, bunch of damn cowards. I guess she's talking about the police out in Uvalde. I mean, I honestly think it's worse than that. I think there's a lot of weird stuff going on there. I'm not going to speculate, but it's weird. She said, love you guys. Have a great night. Paul said, the culture of chaos. Wow.
Love you too.
And Mom said, there's definitely something fishy in the Uvalde shooting. Yeah, man. It's crazy when you really start finding out more about it and what really happened. And, parent stories are always kind of weird, and they don't really line up with the narrative that they're putting out in the media. But yeah, I mean,
and you see, what are the politicians doing? Like, they're trying to push a bill, right? They're using It's about the kids.
Yep.
Right. They're using your emotions. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And that's what. How do you know you're an actual adult? Because you can be an adult and not be grown up. How do you know that you're actually grown up? You got your emotions in check.
Yeah.
You're not allowing your emotions to rule over you. Yeah. Because you see something. Now you're set off.
Right.
And that's what's happening. And we're seeing it, like, again, with the lady. Somebody needs to do something. This isn't about right or left or politics.
Yeah.
But you're literally feeding right into the politics of the thing. Because it's not about that. It's about us taking responsibility in our communities as much as we can.
Yeah.
You know, you can't do everything, but as much as you can.
Yeah. Most people that you hear, you know, getting emotional like that and yelling about, you know, assault weapons bans, a lot of times they're misinformed because they're just listening to the news narratives. Most people don't understand that AR-15s aren't assault rifles.
Yeah.
They don't understand that AR doesn't stand for assault. Most people think that AR stands for assault rifle. Yeah. And, you know, they see the look of the gun. They don't understand it's just a rifle.
Yep.
It's a semi-automatic rifle.
It looks intimidating.
Yeah. But it's the same as any other rifle.
A Glock 9.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They're semi-automatics too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what people don't.
Any handgun with a magazine is a semi-automatic.
Yeah. I've seen Whoopi on, you know, our favorite person in the world, Whoopi, talking about, you know, automatic weapons.
Yeah,
right? Automatic weapons should be. Rand Paul was actually on
automatic weapons.
Automatic weapons need to be banned.
They are.
They are banned.
How about they are?
Well, you know what I mean. No,
we don't.
You don't know what you're talking about, and you're just spewing, you know, this on a show that, you know, all, you know, women watch or whatever like that, and they're getting emotional.
Because most of the time, there's nobody there to actually combat and check what they're saying.
Yeah.
And that's what we need we need to be checked.
Yeah.
That's healthy. You know what I mean? Like, we need to go, we don't need to argue, but we need to debate these things and come to the truth.
But she don't listen though. Like, Rand Paul is trying to tell her that, you know, most handguns and those rifles, they're semi-automatic.
Yeah.
But she's like, you know, you just watch her.
Yeah.
She's just, you know, letting them talk. Is going in and then out the other.
Really
and she's ready to, you know,
get her point across.
Yeah. Tiffany said, "Can't wait to rock one of those shirts. So happy you guys got my size now. LOL." Hey, we appreciate you. Get one. Hit the Cash App.
What was I gonna say when we were talking about the shooting? There's definitely something like we need to pray for this nation because something happened this Friday where in our township, Noe, they cancel school.
Wow.
I come back from the gym. I usually, you know, I go to the gym real early. I go back to make sure that he's up and, you know, get on the bus and stuff like that. And I see I pass the high school and it's blocked off. There's like 2 cops, you know, with their guns and they're like waving people, you know, away from the school. So I knew, I was like, yo, there's something weird, you know. And then I find out that, you know, there was a kid that got arrested and then there was a teacher that also got arrested from a different district or something like that. I don't know the full details, but it was something weird where they, you know, canceled school to make sure that, you know, it was safe for the kids. You know, and
it was something involving a student and a teacher from another school.
Yeah, that's what somebody told me. We call him Tomb Raider. He's a teacher. He's a teacher. I asked him if he knew any details. You know, the day you weren't at the gym.
You didn't look it up at all or look into it at all?
I didn't.
I think it was because them and Winslow got shut down.
Winslow got shut down too.
Yeah.
So the teacher
one
was
had
probably
a bomb
from Winslow.
threat and one I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, we know we need to pray for this area. We need to pray for the nation. We definitely got to pray. We got to go to Philly, man. We got to do some praying over there because it's getting crazy.
People say, and that's one thing she said, the lady on the Philly thing. Didn't she say like thoughts and prayers?
Yeah.
I think she said something like that. Maybe I heard that somewhere else.
No, she was snapping. She was like, if I hear any more thoughts and
yeah,
prayers,
that's right.
I'm gonna lose my mind.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. But to be honest with you, she has a point because prayers it's not just about like, oh, I'm thinking about you. And
I'm praying for you.
I'm praying for you. But prayer is to intercede for people in that way. We're interceding. We're standing in the gap. We're taking responsibility. Right. And we're not just saying this out of something that we don't do.
Yeah.
We've prayed for Camden when Camden was the worst city in America, and we've stood and prayed for years over Camden and seen change. So we believe wholeheartedly that prayer works. But not in the way people tend to think about it, where it's just an afterthought.
And shout out to Emma. He said pray for Nigeria too. It's crazy out there. Yeah, I heard they had a mass shooting over there in Nigeria.
Yeah, in the north. Because it's very Islam rules in the north, and I mean, I don't know all the details, but I know it was a woman student got I think she got stoned to death. And I don't know if it was stoned to death or shot, but there were cops around and they let it happen.
Wow.
I think they didn't want to interfere with, but it had to do with, she was like going to a university, I think, out there.
Okay.
I don't know all the details, but I did hear about this story. So.
Oh, also, I wanted to mention to anybody who's watching right now, if you're in the chat, if you want to jump on the stream, if you want to get in on the conversation, we will be posting the rendezvous link. I'll post it up in the chat, and then you guys can just click that and jump in. You can say hi. You can join in on the conversation as well. What's this right here, John? Oh, you found an article from NJ.com.
I read it. It said that the threat came from, through investigation, they found that the threat came from out of state.
Oh, okay. So it was just a bomb threat?
Yeah, and it involved another school, which I'm pretty sure was this other school you said.
The 6th school. Yeah, Monroe Township District were canceled. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so it was just a bomb threat.
Good. I mean, not good, but
not good.
But I'm glad that they
bomb threat ain't nothing. They've been doing that since we was kids. Everybody do that just to get out of school. Matter of fact, our cousin got arrested for that. Remember? Doing that,
dude. Like I'm glad that they did that just to figure things out.
Yeah,
better safe than sorry.
James said, shouldn't the FBI be reporting these chat room logs? Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, there was an ex-federal agent in one of the chats that is being investigated because the Uvalde shooter posted something in there, and he was in there and saw it and never reported it. And now he's being investigated.
This is the same FBI that had
Hunter Biden's
laptop for years.
I was going to say,
and
the 2 FBI agents aren't getting charged.
Same FBI that was
Larry Nassar case.
Yeah, they were trying to provoke the January 6th.
Oh yeah. They were trying to get people to go into
allegedly.
No, not allegedly.
No, it's not even alleged anymore.
Okay.
Or how about,
I was just saying that to try
or how about the same FBI that knew that Hunter Biden had an illegal weapon and then and threw it in a dumpster behind a school, and they went and retrieved it and made sure the Secret Service was involved with this too. He lied on a gun application. So all this talk about guns, Hunter Biden lied on a gun application, got a gun, then his wife or somebody found out about it, or his girlfriend, I don't remember the full story, and then got rid of it in a dumpster by a school. And then the Secret Service and the FBI found out about it, and they made sure that they went and retrieved it and covered it up.
Wow.
Yeah. I was about to send this rendezvous link app.
Yeah, so
I don't know how to do that.
We don't know how to do what? The rendezvous? I'm just going to put the link up for now. Go ahead, Jake.
No, I was just going to say, what we don't want to do is, get caught up in the right or the left. Because, I mean, I have no issue with people having guns, anything, but I'm also not a proponent of, you have to have them. You know, you don't have to live.
Yeah, absolutely.
With a gun, but it's people's choice and it's their right.
Absolutely.
And
Second Amendment.
And I think that the founding fathers, they knew from experience that, you know, most governments that have full power, they tend to lean towards tyranny. So the only way to keep,
which is what we're seeing,
right? We're watching it happen.
We're watching it happen.
They're trying to come for that, the Second Amendment, which was put there as a safeguard against that.
Right. Yeah. All these executive orders, all these things that are being put into play, the stuff happening on state levels, you know, all these corrupt federal judges. This stuff it's crazy, and there's who's holding these people accountable.
Yeah,
right. The Congress, like the fact that they're like, we got people like Nancy Pelosi who's been in there forever with no challenge whatsoever.
Yep.
These things.
Mitch McConnell, same thing.
Right.
Lindsey Graham. These people get reelected all the time, no challenge, and they're just given the authority. You know, Nancy Pelosi is like worth $100 million or something, and her husband is like one of the best. Like he invests better than Rupert Murdoch. Like he's like one of the best investors of all times. You know what I mean?
Wasn't he driving a Porsche when he got arrested?
He was
DUI, right?
But is it totally their fault, or has, like, if you look at their districts, like, have we dropped the ball?
Yeah.
Have we dropped the responsibility ball?
Yeah.
The hot potato. I don't want this hot potato. You take it.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, I remember that game.
Yo, Emma, prime example. Emma said, "I wish we had guns in Cameroon." I know a lot of countries that wish their citizens were armed when their governments went full dictatorship or corrupt. You know.
I mean, it's not real until it's real.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that. Like, we can look at history.
Yeah.
You know, what happened in Germany.
What happened in Cambodia.
What happened in Cambodia.
What happened in North Korea.
Yeah.
Venezuela.
Yeah.
The people can't defend themselves against the government.
Yeah. I mean, look at Ukraine. A current example. Like they were applauding the fact that the government armed the citizens. You know what I mean? And that's how they fought back against the Russians, because the citizens pulled up their own arms.
Yeah.
Like
that's when guns are okay, huh?
Yeah.
Like, you know, we send billions of dollars and weapons to this.
And that's in New York just made it even more stricter to get a gun.
Yeah.
You got to be 21.
Yeah, you got to be 21.
New Jersey is crazy.
Yeah.
Paul said Venezuela. Yep. James said it's almost like they are playing a game and need these type of people to commit these crimes to take away your constitutional rights, except for the guns they have. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But what they do is, like Jake was saying, it's all about emotions and fear. So they need these events to happen so that you'll be. It's not that they can come take your guns. You'll willingly give them up.
And
because it's like,
buyback.
We gotta stop this. Like that lady. We gotta stop this.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. Yeah, call it a buyback.
Yep, call it a buyback.
Yeah. But see, that's somebody that you know. You can't let her lead anything.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Too
like
emotional.
The crazy lady that was going to be head of the truth.
The Ministry of Truth or whatever.
Yeah.
Misinformation Board or whatever.
How crazy she was.
She quit herself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like something out of Harry Potter.
Well, she was obsessed with Harry Potter.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, what?
Yeah, she was obsessed with Harry Potter.
You got to see the videos. Man.
Yeah, she had the most cringiest videos.
I mean, it sounds like something straight out of
1984. Well, that's what Ministry of Truth comes from that.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's what people were calling it, because it's like they really were going to start this misinformation board. The only reason why they abandoned it is because people were going crazy.
Pushback,
Like the pushback.
They still have it around.
Yeah, it's still
just
there.
Buried somewhere.
Right. But
So
that's
we'll
why they're
see.
coming so hard at Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Which, you know, we'll talk about that in a little bit too. All right. We hit that topic a lot. I want to go into a little Joe Biden. Hold up, let me
Joe Biden. I saw my mom haven't been home for a couple of days, but she's complaining. She's complaining about gas. This is her joke now. That's your president. You voted for him. I'm like, Mom, I did not vote for that man.
Well, let's see what he has to say about inflation and everything. Can you pull this up, Moan? Do you know how?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Did I do it? What did I just do?
Oh Lord, what did he do?
We got some crippled people over here.
The screen just looks different. I pressed the button, but it's like
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking.
Hold on.
Oh, we got a little technical difficulties by the
Bidens.
Tiffany said witchcraft. Mom said they're trying everything before November. No. Tiffany said, "LOL, come on, Moon."
Did you pull it up, Jay? It's up on your end, so all they have to do is hit the button or whatever.
Yeah, all they got to do is bring it up. No, hold on. Do y'all need me to come over there?
Okay, hold on 1 second. One second.
Uh-oh.
It's not working. All right, let's do this.
Is that the full screen up?
Nope. Now we got them on top of each other.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, I was gonna say that may be the best right there.
Man, we got cops
sirens going by. There we go.
Yeah. Since I took office, families are carrying less debt. Their average savings are up. A recent survey from the Federal Reserve found that more Americans feel financially comfortable than any time since the survey began in 2013.
Yeah.
Can we?
You laughing at the?
Can we, no, he's laughing at what he just said. Did you hear what he just said? Mo's totally distracted by the sign language lady.
Play it again.
Listen to what he says here.
Play it again.
Okay.
Since I took office, families are carrying less debt. Their average savings are up. A recent survey from the Federal Reserve found that more Americans feel financially comfortable than any time since the survey began in 2013.
Okay.
I heard it.
This is really what they're trying to spin right now.
Yeah. What is he basing it off of?
Some survey that he made up.
Yeah. Just their words.
The Federal Reserve?
Yeah.
This is who you're going.
Yeah, you're gonna go with their survey. Their survey. And then bring this up now. So this is from his new press secretary, who they made sure they told us was black and LGBTQ 2A plus.
When are you guys gonna admit that you were wrong about inflation?
No easy questions today, huh?
The Treasury Secretary says that she was wrong, so why doesn't anybody here at the White House?
Okay, so look, what the Secretary was pointing out, this was talking about yesterday when she was doing her hit, with her TV hit with CNN, is that there have been shocks to the economy that have exacerbated inflationary pressures, which couldn't have been foreseen 18 months ago, including, well, I'm trying to answer your question. Hold on. I was just
How many people didn't see this 18 months ago? We were all saying like, yo, inflation's coming. They're telling us, no, it's transitory.
Yeah.
No, inflation is not going to be a problem. Everyone is fear-mongering about inflation.
I mean, when you're printing money,
yeah,
it's obvious.
And nobody can go to work.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Including Russia's decision to invade Ukraine, multiple successive variants of COVID, and lockdowns in China. As she also noted during that interview, there has been historic growth and record job creation, and our goal is now to transition to steady and stable growth as inflation is brought down.
This is the hilarious lies about politics, because they want to say there's been record growth in job creation.
Right.
But you don't create jobs that you terminate, that you shut down and reopen. That's not creating jobs.
That's not creating anything. That is not.
So they can use that as job create. Like they're literally that's what they're counting.
They can't. but they can do whatever they want.
That's what they're basing it off of.
They're doing whatever they want.
He's created more jobs than any president in their first term in history, in the first year in history.
This is what PR is.
Yes. How do we spin it? How do we spin language? How do we manipulate people?
Right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, let me show y'all this. I wish John was here so he could see this. I don't know where he went, but here you go for all of y'all.
Cali?
Yes, sir.
Dang.
This is a gas station in Northern California, town of Mendocino, charging nearly $10 a gallon, making it the most expensive gas in the country. And listen, they're projecting it to continue to rise until August. Y'all remember when I told you how they were going around recalibrating these pumps so that they could show double-digit numbers before the decimal? That never occurred before. So they had to recalibrate the pumps so that they could have a double-digit number in front of the decimal.
Wow.
Just remember, they promised to do this.
Yes.
He campaigned on getting rid of fossil fuels.
Yep.
So
he told you.
Yeah, he told you what he was going to do.
First, I think it was
Obama said it.
Yeah. But like the first week in office, he shut down the Keystone pipeline.
Yep. What do you do when you shut down all your producers?
Yeah.
In oil. What happens?
Hey, but
more scarce.
But Biden in his first year produced more, fossil fuel than Trump did. Trump did his first year.
Yeah, his first year. Yeah, right.
So you look at the stats.
Yeah,
right? You look at the stats.
Yeah,
how to lie with numbers.
Yeah, how to lie with statistics. Bill Gates is teaching them well. Yeah, it's crazy the spin that they're putting on things. Now I want to show y'all this old clip that I saw. It's been going around on Twitter, and then I'm going to show that clip from you because it kind of goes together. Now this is Milton Friedman. He's an economist. He's talking. Rand Paul tweeted this. He's talking about inflation. This is from like back in the 90s or 80s.
Yeah, till the American people have the political will to stop it, that's going to continue.
Now, give us the will. Tell us how we get that will.
There's only one way you can stop inflation, and that's by having the government create less money and spend less money.
Okay. So let's talk about what happened in the last 2 years. They printed more money than ever in the history of the world.
Ever.
Okay. They printed more money in 2 years than we've ever had in the history of the world. And they also spent more money. How many trillions of dollars did we approve for the CARES Act or whatever they were doing, like the trillions of dollars that they approved? They spent more money than ever before. And they said, it's going to cost you zero. Remember when he did that? It's going to cost nothing. Zero. It's going to be zero. Who did that?
Because they're going to pay their fair share, right?
Because it comes out of nowhere. Right?
Yeah. It comes out of the sky.
You're just going to print it.
But let's watch. So in the first 5 seconds of what he said, this is how you stop inflation. We've been doing the exact opposite. So it's like they can't say that no one has told. We didn't know.
Yeah.
And the reason we have inflation is because the public at large wants inflation. You people want inflation. You don't say so. No one of you will say, I want inflation. But I ask you, do you want the prices at which you sell things to go down?
Silence. Silence. Because people don't. They want to buy things cheaper, but they want to sell things more expensive.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, of course, they don't understand how economically inflation is going to continue to go up. And now we're seeing it at an accelerated rate because we did all of that money printing in the last 2 years. Yeah. But let's keep it going.
Not the prices at which you sell them. You want the prices
Shout out to
at which
Jessica,
you buy them to go
our
down.
cousin. Hey.
What everybody wants is for the prices of the things he buys to go down and the prices of the things he sells to go up. But that's a neat trick if you can manage it.
But isn't it good old Adam Smith? Isn't that what he...
Of course, it's good old Adam Smith, provided you have a control in terms of the total amount of money available. But it's not good old Adam Smith for those printing presses to be pouring out paper money, which you and I and the government in particular can use.
Who's Adam Smith?
We don't create inflation by our personal behavior.
Generic name they make.
We create inflation by getting our legislators, the people in Washington, to vote for more and more spending, and by objecting to extra taxes, and therefore by having it financed by printing money.
So exactly what we've been doing. Exactly. Approving more and more money, whether it's $40 billion to go to Ukraine for them to fight their war, whether it's, this package for this, woke thing over here where we're sending gender studies to Saudi Arabia or whatever the heck we're doing.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing.
Yep.
This is what we're doing.
Keep it going.
Lizard studies in Argentina.
Yeah. You gave up over there? Rachel's going to take over?
She told me I can go.
Okay.
Hey, I was doing all right,
She
though.
was like, get out of here, buddy.
It changed.
It changed?
Yeah, the way it was.
You hit something, didn't you?
I don't know.
I don't know why John always calls you over there like you know how to run Wirecast. He always does that. Yo, can you run this? Like
because he knows I'm not scared to do it. That's why.
But you don't know how to run it. So we just had a whole freaking debacle over there, John. You missed it. Hey. I said you missed it. I don't know what happened over there, but I saw a panic. Both of them was over there panicking. No, something got messed up.
Yeah, they used to call me heavy hand, so I just.
Yo, you missed it though. I showed I wanted you to be here when I showed this picture of gas in California, 970.
Oh, I just looked up the gas from where we were. It's 570.
Yeah, this was Northern California. Yeah. It's the highest gas in the nation, but
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that is
crazy, man. So then Jake sent this clip. This was on what's this, TikTok? No, this is a YouTube short.
Yeah.
This is about inflation also. So we're gonna keep the theme going, talking about how we've been printing all this money and acting like we're surprised that gas prices are up, food prices are up. Yo, dude, I went to the supermarket today. No chicken, just empty.
Yeah.
Wow.
No chicken.
Oh man,
it's coming.
Administration, this seems curious to me, wants us to buy oil from foreign countries. And those foreign countries deliver their oil in tankers that use 2,000 gallons of fuel an hour and emit 8 tons of carbon dioxide into the environment per hour. The irony of this is rich.
Yo, listen to this.
The Biden administration, this seems curious to me, wants us to buy oil from foreign countries. And those foreign countries deliver their oil in tankers that use 2,000 gallons of fuel an hour and emit 8 tons of carbon dioxide into the environment per hour.
Again, like this is the same argument that we make about like saying we need to go completely green. We need to electric vehicles and like the Green New Deal. They wanted to get rid of airplanes. Like, do you like the total shallow level thinking of these ideas is so mind boggling to me because the amount of fossil fuels it takes to mine one of those batteries for those cars.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it's something like 10, the gasoline of 10 vehicles to get one electric car. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Not to mention China and what they do.
Exactly.
And how
China, India.
Yeah. And it makes no sense.
It's nonsensical.
It's nonsensical. What did Miss Ez just say? It's back ass words.
yeah. Back ass words. Yeah. Shout out to my pops, man.
Yeah. Miss him.
Tiffany said, "Wow, he is country." That's all you got out of that clip, Tiff. Speaking of electric vehicles and someone who's in the green energy sector. Our
that they hate right now.
The guy who's the new Trump on Twitter right now is a man by the name of Elon Musk.
Joining now, tech analyst, CoinDesk chief of staff of content, Pete Paschal. Pete, last month, tech companies laid off employees at the highest rate since 2020. What the heck is Elon Musk doing? Get his story straight.
Yeah, I know. First of all, is this not one of the worst announcements of layoffs in history? I mean, there's a reason companies usually execute the layoffs the time they announce it. I mean, it's tough and it's hard, but at least you're not in limbo. And can you imagine working at Tesla now, not knowing if you're going to have a job in a few weeks? So honestly, I see what's happening here in terms of his salaried employees. It's not much different than what's going on at a lot of tech companies. Obviously, there's been a lot of announcements of layoffs, from big ones to small ones, for different reasons on a monetary level. But it's really, the economy. And a lot of these tech companies staffed up during the pandemic. There were a lot of trends due to...
I don't know what that has to do with the article. They're talking about tech layoffs, but this article is about him trying to back out of the Twitter deal now, of him buying Twitter, because they won't release the information about their fake accounts and all that stuff. Like they won't release any information to him. So he's like threatening to back out of the deal. I do know that he was talking about firing anybody who doesn't want to come into the office.
Come back to work, yeah.
Because a lot of the higher ups, they like to work from home or not be in the office, and he doesn't believe in that. So he was telling them, like, either come to the office or you're fired.
Right.
But yeah, Elon Musk is now...
People got comfortable working at home.
Yeah, yeah. He's now talking about backing out of this deal unless they can agree to release the data to him that they promised him. So we'll see what happens with this Twitter situation. I don't know. It's getting murky.
Yeah.
Twitter's probably like, docking stuff up now.
Yeah, they're trying to cover their tracks.
Smashing cell phones.
Yeah. You know. And then we have this clip from Bill Gates talking about Elon Musk. Because they've been they
had a Twitter battle.
They've been dude. It's the battle of the billionaires, bro. Did you see Elon Musk tweeted out a picture of him next to the pregnant man emoji?
No,
really?
What? Yeah, he put a picture of Bill Gates next to the pregnant man emoji. But this is Bill Gates.
So this is a telephone emoji. So let's discover basically what's behind. So it's a text message discussion between you and Elon Musk, so the owner of Tesla and recently Twitter. The screenshots were leaked on Twitter, and Elon Musk a few days ago, as you know, confirmed this discussion happened. So in this chat, Elon Musk said that he can't work with you on philanthropic projects because you were shorting on Tesla, basically trying to make profit with the fall of Tesla's stock price. And Elon Musk sees this as contradictory to the desire to fight climate change. As he says, you should support Tesla's electric development. First of all, do you think he's right? And then, most importantly, how do you handle the fact as a billionaire, you might want to fight for causes, whatever they are, like climate change, but at the same time, you might want to make your money grow through investments.
So if you're not following what he's asking him there because of the accent or whatever, right. So basically there was a text exchange between Elon Musk and Bill Gates. Bill Gates was trying to get Elon to sign on to a lot of his philanthropic endeavors. I put that in quotations because we all know what Bill Gates is about. If you don't know, do your research. But yeah, his philanthropic endeavors, he's always trying to get rich people to sign on and fund the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation through these projects. But Elon Musk is a clever guy, so he said, how can you be serious about climate change if you're shorting against Tesla stock? Now, if you don't know what that means in the stock world, shorting means you're betting against Tesla to fail. And when you're someone who's like Bill Gates, who has a lot of money and a lot of influence, you can get some policies passed to get Tesla to fail and then bet against it to fail, so you make a bunch of money off of it if it fails. So he's saying, like, I'm the biggest electric car company in the world. I'm doing real change for climate change. If you really believe in that, like you say you do, you wouldn't be shorting against my company. So I'm not going to sign on to do any philanthropic stuff with you if you're shorting against me. So that's what he's asking him now. We're going to get Bill Gates' response to that.
Well, Tesla's not short of capital, and Tesla's done a fantastic job. The cars are great. I give a lot more money to climate change than Elon or anyone else.
Yeah.
I give lots of philanthropic dollars. I back companies. You know, electric cars are about 16% of emissions, so we also need to solve that other 84%. But, he's done a great job. But somebody shorting his stock doesn't slow him down or hurt him in any way.
Didn't answer the question.
Yeah. Someone. You're not just someone, buddy.
Yeah, right. And you're not getting to the point of what he's saying.
Right.
Just like, don't try to ask me for money if you're shorting against my company, dude. Like, you know.
This dude, I saw something about how he admitted to, you know, about COVID, right?
Yeah.
You know,
while you're talking, John can just put this
COVID is, you know, he explained it. It's almost like a flu.
Yeah.
It affects the elderly.
Yeah.
And the death rate we know now is, you know, really low.
Yeah.
But
we played that on here, dude.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But I'm comparing that. I'm saying that he has that power to. He pretty much destroyed the world for like, you know, 2 years.
People listen to what
he
has
saying.
to say about.
Oh, you know, someone, you know, shorting his stock is not going to affect.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's why this meme is hilarious, because it's like, this is the picture of health and science. Trust the experts. You know what I mean? Like, and Joe Rogan made this point on his podcast, which people got super mad about, because he was like, "Why are we listening to Bill Gates about health advice?"
Right.
He's like, that dude.
Yeah,
has
look at him. He's
flabby arms. He's got boobs.
He's got boobs.
But that's why Elon posted the pregnant man emoji next to him,
because of this.
Because of this, yeah. But you know, that's the Elon and Bill Gates drama. All right, so last week, was it last week when the Daily Wire put out that documentary?
Yes.
Yeah, What is a
woman?
What is a woman? What is a woman? The Daily Wire, Matt Walsh of the Daily Wire, did a documentary called What is a Woman, where he asked that basic question, which is something that it's so in the zeitgeist right now, because we were talking about Ricky Gervais's stand-up, where he literally talked about cancel culture and how you could be canceled for something now that you had no idea what was offensive 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And he used the example, like, you couldn't, like 10 years ago, you wouldn't think that you can't say a woman doesn't have a penis.
Yeah.
No one saw that coming.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
As an example. So, you know, in that same vein, Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire was doing a documentary, because there is this weird dynamic where it's like, how do you describe what a woman is anymore?
He noticed that he was on Dr. Phil, I believe, and it was, you know,
that's right, yeah.
The person had the beard and was, I guess, you know, and he noticed that every time he asked what is a woman, they get offensive and they don't really answer it. Mm-hmm. You know, so he decided to do this documentary.
Well, here's a clip that Jake sent us. So many clips from this documentary have gone viral. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has like a 97% audience watch rate, approval rate,
but nobody watched it.
The critics will not watch it.
I was gonna say,
it's totally blank. The critics won't watch it. They won't touch it.
He actually did something about how
I saw that he read the emails.
Of all these critics.
Yeah, their response emails to the screeners that they sent out, and it was just refusal to watch it. Basically, no one wants to touch it because it's it's a topic that you can't talk about anymore for some strange reason.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I don't even know what this clip is, but Jake sent this over. Let's check it out.
If I said that I feel a certain way, then obviously you can't tell me I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
But just because I feel that way, does that mean that it's true?
I mean, if it's your reality. Okay.
If it's your reality.
It's truly like none of my business.
So we all have our own
identity.
Realities?
I'm just trying to start by getting to the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really uncomfortable with that language of like getting to the truth. Again,
if I probe about what the truth is?
You keep invoking the word truth, which is condescending and rude. I'm saying to you...
How is the word truth condescending and rude?
Why don't you tell me what your truth is, and you're walking on 30 seconds more of thin ice before I get up.
What my truth is? Well, I don't think I really have a truth. I think that there's just the truth. But we're in a university. This is a place of understanding truth, isn't it? Or
absolutely, we pursue truth.
In reality, in truth, okay?
Whose truth are we talking about?
The same truth that says we're sitting in this room right now, you and I.
No, you're not listening.
What's true to you can be false to me. So like, it's like.
What if I said that it's true? My truth is that you don't exist. Does that mean you no longer exist?
I mean, if that's your truth, sure, I don't. Because
but you do.
Well, I mean, if you're saying that I do, then I do.
What?
Well, but even if I said that you don't, you still do, because we're having this conversation.
I mean, are we?
I think so. I mean, I thought
That's what you think.
So this is what I noticed throughout the whole entire theme of the documentary. It's the denial of objective truth. And this is something that I deal with a lot because, I deal with things that are going on in the New Age, and in New Age spirituality, they say things like, oh, you could have your truth, I could have my truth, it could all be truth. But this isn't exclusive to the New Age. This is now making its way into universities, as you saw.
Mainstream
ideology. So it's not just like the woman on the street that's like, oh, you could have your truth, I could have my truth. Oh, am I really real? Are we really having this conversation? No. It's actually even people in academia, even this woman who is a medical professional, talking about you're not listening when Matt is trying to discuss the truth. And this is what I feel is the biggest issue, is the denial of objective truth. Because when you can deny objective truth, you can also deny objective morality. If you can have your truth and I can have my truth and it can all be true, then it can be true for me that it's okay for me to just, kill somebody. And if that's not true for you, well, that's your problem because it's true for me.
Right.
And this is the direction that things head towards when you do this whole truth relativity thing.
So truth relativity, I like that.
So I just want to bring one point.
Yeah.
As I was watching this, especially the conversation between the guy and the gender studies guy who feels uncomfortable because
the professor
he's telling
because he don't like the word truth.
The word truth makes him uncomfortable. Yeah.
And then the girl who says, "Well, if I don't exist, that's your
if that's
right?
true to you,
right?
That I don't exist."
If just the logic that they're going on, then what are we talking about these mass shootings for?
Right.
Because nobody really matters.
Yeah.
Because it only matters if it's true to you.
Right.
None of this stuff works when you really think it through.
Yeah.
But we're not really thinking it through. It's only the context that I want it to be true for me until somebody actually dies that I care about, like I said earlier. Then it becomes true to you because it smacks you in the face.
Right, because then you could just say to them, they're not dead, they exist to you. It's your truth is that they still exist, so they still exist to you.
Right, but the guy, he said something very key.
Emotional damage.
He said, I'm uncomfortable with that.
Yeah.
Right? And that's key. That's how we grow.
Yeah. That's the problem. Is like,
why
do you feel as though you should never be uncomfortable? Who told you that life is a place where you'll never be uncomfortable?
Right. Because that's what keeps us going forward in truth.
Yeah.
As you're talking, I'm thinking of the, what was that? The socialist convention where they're like,
oh yeah.
Don't use gendered language.
Everybody point of privilege. Point of privilege. Do not make loud clapping noises.
Use jazz hands.
Yeah. Everyone's just uncomfortable. No one can be uncomfortable.
But you can't care about kids dying and then think that people have to think they exist.
Yeah.
Because those people most of them who are killing them, they probably played a bunch of video games, right? And they're in a reality where it doesn't matter that much. That's their truth, if you want to go by that logic. So how can you be mad at them?
Lena said, well, to be honest, I think two things can be true. There are people's personal truth. Then there's undeniable truth, such as gravity, water is wet, the sun will rise, the sun will set, etc. But what is a personal truth?
I mean, I don't think there's personal truth. There can be things that you've been through.
Perspective.
Perspective. You could have been it could be true that you were abused.
Yeah.
But that's not if you leave it there.
Yeah.
Well then, and you say, well, I was abused, and you take that, and that's my truth.
Yeah.
And you settle that. Well, then you'll never overcome that.
You'll never overcome that, yeah. Right? You'll always be a victim of that.
Because there's a greater truth that outweighs... The ultimate truth is that you can overcome that.
Right.
Right? So all these things matter. But law, if you look at the world, and I like what she said, because the law of gravity, right? You have these laws in nature. You have these laws that you start to realize, right?
But even those laws,
Are
we
challenged.
we find ways to challenge and defy them. You know,
Right.
The science is always changing, Jake.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that
Fauci's
you have to
always
recognize them.
Yeah.
You can't.
They
if
still
you-
exist.
They still exist.
Yeah.
You can't. In order to get past them, you have to recognize them.
Right.
You have to deal with them.
you can't say, well, now that airplanes exist, gravity no longer exists. Gravity was the fallacy. That was a social construct,
Right.
you know, that we created to keep people grounded on the earth.
But see how you can say that if you live in a world where gravity doesn't affect you anymore.
right.
Anymore.
Yeah.
But it doesn't affect you anymore based off of the foundations that people set before you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't recognize that, you miss that you're living in a world that people have prepared ahead of time before you. And when that comes crashing down because you don't honor it, now you got to deal with all these things you didn't have to deal with before.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So what's this Jordan Peterson clip?
He's speaking about truth.
Okay. Yeah.
It's kind of
So
in a different way.
that the truth can be investigated. And the truth needs to be investigated because the truth is very complicated. And it's dynamic in some sense because the future is different from the past. And so there's a cutting edge we have to stay on to stay adapted because the future is literally not predictable from the past. The truth isn't a set of facts. The truth is an approach to discussion. That's what Joe Rogan's so good at. That's why he's so popular. It's not because Joe knows the truth. It's because he acts out the truth in his speech and his actions. So the CNN people came after Joe Rogan, and
yes, did they? I didn't hear.
and one of them said, essentially, man, what's going on here? We've got this whole bureaus devoted to fact checking and the truth, and all these experts hired, and why the hell aren't people listening to us when they listen to Joe Rogan? And he's just winging it. And I thought, just winging it, eh?
Said that.
Yeah.
You try just winging it in front of 11 million people for 5 years and see if you're still standing, buddy. You think just winging it is so easy. Well, first of all, why aren't you doing it if it's so damn easy? And second, isn't it something that with all your resources, you can only garner like 1/10 of the audience of one man who has like zero production expertise in his studio. He just puts it all out online, and all he does is have honest conversations. I mean, insofar as he's capable of that. You know, Joe stumbles, and he knows that and admits it. And sometimes he gets too, buttoned down on a given point. But fundamentally, he's just trying to do what we're doing here. Keep at it, guys. Every time you attack him, 1 million more subscribers for Joe. They kick him off Spotify. He would have a new platform like in 2 days with twice as many listeners. And so Joe's got to the point where as long as he continues to be careful, and he is being, I don't think he can be canceled. In fact, I think all the attempts to cancel him only redound to his credit and increase the rapidity with which he's destroying the entire legacy media. The only real rationale for opposing free speech.
I just want to say he's absolutely right. Like I saw a recent podcast where he was talking about it, and he was saying that like after the whole Neil Young going off of Spotify to protest Joe Rogan and Indy Ivory, like, and the CNN campaigns and all that stuff, like his Spotify subscribers went up, I think like 30 million people. Wow. Something like that. Like something crazy, you know.
Can we go back to the beginning, the very beginning? Just because he spoke about free speech, which is...
At the very beginning? I played
You have the right to speak freely that the truth can be investigated.
Okay. So you have the right to speak freely so that the truth can be investigated.
Right.
So freedom of speech is about sharp... He said it later. It's about the cutting edge, right? Mm-hmm. So we sharpen our swords in truth.
Right.
We sharpen our swords.
Iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron. Ideas get worked out. Designs get worked out. Engineers work things out through going through issues and frustrations and problems.
Right.
Right. It's just about you got to do it in a controlled environment. If you do it if you don't understand the parameters, then you can go and do something and kill yourself and kill a whole bunch of people, right?
Or say something to get you killed.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like, actually working something out, right? That you don't really understand.
Yeah.
So, and I'm bringing this back to what God did for us, because he set up a place where we could make mistakes, right? And fall, but fall in a house where we're not going to fall to our death, right? So Jesus said, if you abide in my word, you'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Right? He sent, it's funny, the guy said, I feel uncomfortable with the way you're using truth, but Jesus sent the comforter, right? The helper, the advocate, the teacher of truth, right? The spirit of truth, so he could lead us into all truth. And so my point is that as believers, we're learning how to deal with truth. But what happens with people in general, right? Believers, everybody, nobody's exempt from this, is that you get pushback. And when you get pushback, people don't like pushback. They don't like it. People want to go back to comfort. Right? That's that childlike mentality. So we're looking for comfort. What we work in is the design or the system that we know. Right? Or we give ourselves over to the design or the system that somebody else knows. Right? And we give ourselves over to that. That's a higher understanding, right? Everybody doesn't know everything, right? So you have to submit yourself to that higher understanding, right? So that's what we do with God. He's the comforter. He comforts us beyond our comfort. But what we do is we try to comfort ourselves within what we understand and what we know, the parameters of what we know and how we work it out. That's our design, right? But God is always coming against that design because he doesn't want us to have our own design. He wants us to have his design, right? His work, his structure, not our own. And we see things in our own way, and he grows us in his life as we trust him, right? And he confronts those things. He allows people to come to us. He allows things to come to us where they make us frustrated. They bring up feelings of fear, anxiety, right? Discomfort. Why? So we can trust God. So we can trust a true comforter that has a greater system, a greater work, a greater understanding than we have. And when we trust in that, we get a better comfort. What we do is when we have a frustration, we try to bring ourselves comfort by trying to work out something that don't work. And then we create a false reality in our lives. And now what pride does is it keeps us holding on to that false reality until something comes, which is usually death, whether it's death in people we know or our own death, that destroys that design. Right? And now if we're dead, we can't do nothing about it, right? Or if somebody else dies and we don't get it, we don't understand it, we fall apart.
Yeah, I have a great example of false reality right here that I want to play. This goes right into what you're saying. Just for those that don't understand where this my truth, my own reality, people need to accept whatever I say leads to. And this is one of the things, like, when people always will push back against this ideology, they will say, like, well, what if I identify as a turtle? You know what I mean? Why can't I do that? And people say, oh, shut up. No one does that. You're being ridiculous. Are we? Let's take a look at this one right here. So this is also from the documentary. Matt Walsh goes into an example of someone who wants to tell you about how they are a wolf.
But here it is. Watch.
So now we are seeing kids that are identifying as animals going to school, and they are purring instead of answering questions, and they meow. And the teachers are not allowed to question it because it's considered a queer identity.
So
I've seen many pictures of kids in school, like wearing tails and ears and just walking around like that, and people have died. You acknowledge them as.
I told you guys about Ashley's mom. She fosters kids. One of her daughters goes to Washington Township. There was a girl in the hallway that hissed at her, and then she said "F you."
Wow.
To the girl that hissed at her that identifies as a cat. Who gets in trouble?
Right.
The girl that cursed.
But isn't hissing the cat's way of saying "F you"?
Yeah.
So they should both get in trouble.
Yeah. So it's like it's getting ridiculous.
You shouldn't be saying "F you" anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, she shouldn't. She shouldn't.
That's very true.
But you know.
All right, let's keep watching this.
You have kids that are going to school and they're saying, "I'm a cat," and the teachers have to affirm them as a cat.
Yes. So it's
the
not
schools
just
are
the
like
young ones.
literal zoos now, basically.
They are.
I am a 27-year-old transgender woman. I am a wolf-therian and a member of the furry fandom.
When and how did you discover this inner wolfness?
Probably around age 10 or 11. I was watching an anime about wolves and see the wolf running across the screen, and I'm somehow just intrinsically like, oh, that's me.
Have you spent any time around biological wolves?
Yes.
So I remember being 10 or 11 and being like, I'm a Ninja Turtle. Like,
Yes.
even to the point where we used to pretend we were going...
Why are you taking my...
Well, I'm just saying, like, me and Jake, he was Leonardo, I was Donatello.
Right.
And, you know, because Jake always has to be in charge, and I was the smart one. You know. So we would really go around with our friends and, like, pretend like we was going to go in the sewer and all this stuff. Like,
yeah.
Never went in the sewer.
It's imagination. It's pretend.
Right. Yeah. That's what children
get
do.
You get enamored with these things, and you want to act them out because it seems fun.
Yeah.
But it's
As a kid.
but for adults to now have to be obligated to affirm those things, like we're getting into just demonic territory here.
Yeah.
Well, and
It's delusion.
Again, you're creating, like, you're not dealing with life, and you're creating these false realities, and everybody around you has to bend to it, right? That's how society breaks down, right?
Do you happen to know what anime that she's talking about, John? Huh?
I know like 3 animes.
Oh, I thought you was an anime fan, dude. That's what I'm asking.
I told you.
Your generation is the anime fan, so I'm just asking.
I told you that Amber's an anime fan.
Well, maybe Amber knows. You don't know no wolf animes?
Teen Wolf?
Matter of fact, when we were kids, Teen Wolf was the movie, bro.
Yeah.
And we wish we were Teen Wolves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, we were kid wolves.
Kid wolves because we were kids at the time.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, we wish that we had those powers too.
Yeah.
You know?
I wanted to be Spider-Man because I thought it was cool to swing.
You know? Bruh.
But
There's
reality. Yeah. And then there's delusion.
But this person is breaking through multiple reality truths. You know, like there's multiple layers going on here.
When I was a child, I spoke as a child.
Yes.
But when I grew up, I put away childish things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's the case. Like, the thing with that is, like, what you're talking about is about love, right? That's 1 Corinthians 13. And it's literally, that whole chapter is talking about love, right? Love. Before it says that, it says love bears all things, hopes all things, believes all things, endures all things, right? That's responsibility. That's responsibility. I have to be able to be responsible for you, so I'm going to deny myself and bear for you. I'm going to endure for you, right? Because you can't do it for yourself. And that's not a love where you control. I'm going to control everything for you so you never have to do it for yourself. That's different. That's not love. Love grows you, right? But what we're teaching, what you see happening is that you have parents that are coddling their kids to the point where They want to do everything and protect them from everything, but they're not raising.
I was just you're in my head. I was just going to say this is what leads to I don't want sauce. But don't let this food touch that food.
And I just want to point out, like, when we bring these, because the no sauce thing happened, 2 years ago when we talked about it on this podcast? Yeah. And we bring these things up for a reason because it's relevant to where you see the direction of things going, and it's trying to point it out. Because people will be like, what is that? Who cares? Yeah. But no, because this is where you're headed. To people that want to tell you that they're wolves, and the kids that want to be identified as furries. There's even rumors on the internet of like certain schools. They're asking them to have litter boxes at the school, things like that.
I know
in the bathrooms.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
If they do that.
No.
If they do that.
Immediately no.
Yeah. I don't think the schools are doing it, but these are like requests that are being put out there.
Like,
that's the slippery
Are you
slope.
cleaning your own litter box? Are you that talented a cat? What's happening here?
Right. Who's cleaning this litter box?
Can you put that the meme whatever thing up?
Which one?
The one I sent you, the picture.
Oh yeah.
Because it kind of goes with that. Like, it's funny how we know how to like say no for certain things.
Oh
but
yeah,
other things we can't say no to.
Absolutely. Here it is, right here. This is from Kevin Sorbo. It says, "Can I drive a car? No, you're 5. Can I have a beer? No, you're 5. Can I have a cigarette? No, you're 5. Can I take hormones and change my gender? Of course. You know what's best." Yeah. Also, this goes along with it too, because we're going on this line of delusion and how far this can go. So I saw this video from PragerU. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it's a debate between a transracial activist.
Oh boy!
What?
It's a SJW debating a transracial activist who identifies as Korean. Now, this is a white man who is transracial and identifies as a Korean, like just loves Korean culture, loves K-pop and all that, but wants to be Korean. So when people you heard people say, like, because even in the documentary, Matt Walsh said, like, what if I identify as black? You you can't do that. But this person identifies as Korean.
She was like, Are you black?
Yeah, that's right. She said, well, are you black? Yeah, that was funny.
Tell me how you racially identify.
I identify as Korean. I used to live in Korea. I was living there for 1 year. I love the culture, I love the history, the people.
A boy.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a dude. Oh, that's that London dude, right?
Yes.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Okay, and then transracial.
Yes,
right.
Transracial.
He I don't want to get gross, but he said he wanted to go fully Korean.
Yes. So he was gonna. I don't know if that was a true story. I think that might have been. A troll. That he was. That it was like. I think that might have been like a Babylon Bee thing, saying that he was going to get a penis reduction.
He want to be fully Korean.
To go fully Korean. Yeah. But anyway.
Oh my goodness.
I put myself through a lot of pain. I've had a lot of surgical.
Yeah, his surgeries have healed. I don't know that it makes him look any more Korean. Certainly does not sound Korean when I'm looking at him.
Yeah, he doesn't look anything K-pop.
More of a Korean aesthetic. I spent a lot of time learning the language, learning how to cook Korean foods. I came out earlier this year, sharing that with the world. People didn't really get it.
She's like,
he looks more like Little Kim than
you
Korean.
Came out, as Korean.
I think he looks like Powder with braids.
Oh,
remember Powder?
Yeah.
What's up with the pink?
Okay.
Like, yo, he just made himself super pale with eyeliner.
Not everybody will understand straight away, but I hope over time people will be kind of more accepting with me.
Transracial does not exist, and I think it is very...
How dare you? Mm-hmm. How dare you say that? You want to say something.
I don't want to say nothing. I have nothing to say.
Transracial does not exist.
Very harmful for us to push the narrative that it is possible to switch races.
I was not happy.
Black people will never get on board with that. I'm telling you right now. Like, that is where black people is going to draw the line every time.
But see, that's impartial in terms of how you're viewing things for yourself. It's not partial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't look at one thing and then look at another thing and say, no, you can't do that. And that's what happens all the time.
Yeah. Stephanie, what's up, Stephanie? Said, I was Wonder Woman, wore Reynolds wrap on my wrists. Emma said, just imagine some people telling her they are wolf hunters. Yeah. Mom said the demons are working overtime now. But yeah, let's keep this going.
I was. So I went to Korea and I had the most incredible experience of my life. It changed me, gave me happiness, and people have no right to take that happiness away from me.
So be happy.
I'm gonna cut off there.
Go ahead.
Well, like, just like you can love it there.
You can love it.
You can go there.
You can totally love Korea and be there and love it and be there. Yep. Why does everyone else have
Japanese.
to? Yeah. Why does everyone have to acknowledge that you're Korean?
Right.
Why do we have to accept?
In order for you to be happy.
Yeah.
But Jake's right. You can't have the no truth, all truth, my truth, her truth. Like it doesn't.
Right.
So he's Korean.
Yeah.
You know, by
Korean.
by this game, he's totally Korean.
If this is what you subscribe, this is what he has to be. And I agree with you, John. If this was true, John would have turned himself Japanese a long time ago.
I lived in Japan for 2 years. I'm Japanese now.
If you guys are watching on PragerU YouTube, we're saying goodbye to you today. Go to my YouTube channel to watch the rest of the show. I'm going to cut off for Instagram as well. Go to my YouTube channel.
Okay.
In this whole trans debate, they're going, you know what? Something should happen.
Essentially dictates people who are ethnic minority, whatever they do isn't really of value. You don't deserve to be associated with something that you've created because a white person has either renamed it or used it for their profit. And you are not a Korean man. No matter how much surgery you do, no matter how much of the aesthetic you adopt, nobody.
How come we can't apply that same logic to the gender debate about it? Why can't we apply like it's the same? What you're saying to him,
it's the same.
Is cancelable if you say that to a transgender person.
And that's where all the athletic
'Cause
stuff,
of politics,
especially at Penn, and the swimming situation, like people do feel that way.
Yeah.
Like, nah, bro. Like, I trained my whole life for this.
Yeah.
And now here you come, medals out the wazoo. Like,
Right.
no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
the same logic.
And they just did an interview with Leah Thomas. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah. Whack.
Yeah, where they're interviewing, asking about like, do you think you have an unfair advantage?
Yeah.
And no acknowledgement.
He skipped. He went right to the. Well, I don't think we do it to be recognized as, or for the athletic advantage. Trans swimmers do it to be happy.
To be happy with it, with their lives.
With their lives.
Yeah.
So he didn't answer the question.
But
number one.
yeah, and not only that, it's like, okay, maybe that's not why you did it, but does it give you an advantage?
Exactly. Let's get to the truth.
Like,
so, does it give you an advantage?
Do it. You do that and still compete with men.
Yeah. If that's the case, or just don't compete anymore.
Yeah.
If it's really about your happiness.
But y'all are saying it's all about performance.
Yep.
Like I talked about this with y'all earlier in me and my revelations.
Yeah.
People get caught up in performance, but it has nothing to do with performance.
Right.
Like you have to go to the root. That's why the Bible, what does it say? There's no Greek, no Jew, no male, no female in the spirit, right?
Yep.
The spirit of truth leads you into all truth, right? And then you know how to act in this world. You know how to be a man in this world. You know how to be a woman in this world.
Yeah.
You know how to be what you were meant to be. You know your identity. Your identity is in God. So, but the thing is, or your role as a man, as a woman, as a husband, doesn't define your identity.
You're right.
Because that's not spiritual, that's fleshly. You know what I mean? That's your flesh. That's how you perform in the world. Roles are how you perform, right? But it all comes back to your identity, right? And so many people are looking at the branches, but they don't focus on the roots because they're underground.
Yeah.
The roots is what matters. That's why, what are we supposed to be rooted in? Love, right? Rooted and grounded in love. But when we're focused on what we do, we're always looking at what we're doing, right? And we're picking that apart and we're judging that, right? And that's what we're seeing. You have two people debating about stuff that matters, but they're missing the root of the matter, right? So really, you're just talking in circles. You're both talking in circles. And we can all get caught up in that. And that's how we get caught up in it, because no, but I'm right. No, but this is true. No, but this is true. But really, it's about spirit first. It's about the, and spirit is when I'm saying that, I mean, it's the essence of a thing. It's the root of a thing. And now you have the meaning, right? Now you have the intention, and then you can go and do it. And it has now what you do has the meaning. It has the purpose, right? It carries it. It has the essence when you do it. If you, the thing about truth, it says, again, I said this before, if you abide in the word, you'll know the truth. Well, he says, if you abide in the word, you are my disciple. You'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So to abide somewhere is to live somewhere, right? It's to dwell somewhere. If I dwell in Christ, if I dwell in the place he prepared for me, which is a spiritual place, right? It's from there. I'm being who I am. But I can do the opposite, right? I can dwell in a state of anxiety, and then I'll be that, and I'll do that. I can dwell in a place of depression, right? And then if I'm in that, it's in me, right? So it's all about where we're at and what we take on ourselves, and then how we do it. And you're saying, where is she dwelling?
Race.
She's dwelling justice.
Take on any type of black
that black culture, thing. So I feel from watching that's where she's like kind of coming from, like,
because if it's okay for you to be Korean, then a white person can say they're black,
right?
And I'll have to accept
from,
right?
You know what I'm saying? That's what the problem is. People.
What's up?
What? Internet went out. It says the connection was severed to the Flash server. No, it's connected to that.
So the whole stream.
There's only 2 lights on it.
See,
I can't do anything.
Okay.
I saw a TikTok where a woman was doing that.
You saw that? It was like a little bully, right? Did you see
maybe.
Yeah. Like, yo, because, and that's the funny thing is, even that in the video, Matt Walsh was like, well, what about like a chicken? Remember, he asked the lady.
I can't get it to close at the restart.
I want to watch that so bad.
He was like, a chicken lays eggs, so we know it's a female. And she was like, does a chicken cry? Does a chicken have gender identity? Does a chicken commit suicide?
That's what I said.
Oh my goodness.